Hello and welcome back to another episode of All Things Girl World. In today's video, we're doing a style analysis on none other than Miss Dee Dee Thorne. We're also taking ourselves on a little home tour by exploring Dee Dee's luxurious apartment because we don't talk about it enough.
My mother wants to move that skylight. She'd like a beam of light to illuminate her as she enters and exits.
Dee Dee Thorne is a fictional character from the 2002 UPN sitcom Half and Half. She is the younger sister to Mona Thorne and the daughter to wealthy businessman Charles and his wife who goes by Big Dee Dee. Now in her early 20s, Dee Dee is living life and having her way. She's beautiful, smart, vivacious, and has an amazing sense of style. What I loved most about the early 2000s fashion is that you can spot it when you see it. It was very colorful, fun, and has some elements of glamour as well. I would have to say, this has been my favorite fashion era to date. Dee Dee's character was very feminine. She grew up very wealthy, so her style was a mix of, I would say, preppy, polished, and sexy. She never did too much. I'm not gonna say I loved every single outfit, but I still appreciated it for the time period it represented and how well she executed these looks, because whether you loved it or hated it, there's no denying that everything Dee Dee wore looked great on her. She nestles perfectly into the category with the Whitley Gilberts, the Hilary Bankses, the Tony Childs, and the Regine Hunters of the world. Characters like that got a bad rap for being bougie, self-centered, and unapologetic, but as we would later learn, at that time, most people, especially women, just lacked the knowledge and understanding of how important it is to put yourself first, no matter how bad people would try to make you feel about it. Now, everywhere you turn, it's self-care routines, self-love journeys, Black women in luxury, and femininity courses. These characters were many classes ahead, and now the girls are trying to play catch-up. Dee Dee gave us a variety of looks depending on the occasion. For date night, she might choose a sexy form-fitting dress. My favorite is without a doubt this sage green knit dress exposing the back with a little crisscross design. Dee Dee was a gym girly with an amazing body, so dresses like that were made for her. We also saw her in a lot of business attire, as this was presumably the dress code from her early days as a law student, as well as her job later in the series as a sports agent. Even when she dressed down in her cute little two-piece tracksuits, Dee Dee still kept it very stylish and feminine. And if you've seen her mother, well then you understand where Dee Dee learned to keep herself up.
Didn't I tell you mother is always right? Kisses.
While searching the net trying to find out who is responsible for styling both Dee Dee and Mona, I found a gem on HuffPost.com written by Ruth Samuel. The May 2023 article is an interview she did with Los Angeles native and iconic costume designer Ceci. Even if you haven't heard Ceci's name before, you are definitely familiar with her work. She has a resume detailing over 30 years of experience and has worked on shows like A Different World, Living Single, Sister Sister, and of course, Half and Half. When asked how she was able to create such an interesting contrast between Dee Dee and Mona, and who was her favorite to dress despite Mona taking a lot of jabs for her wardrobe, especially her love for chunky boots, she said, "Are you kidding me? Mona's amazing. She was more of the vintage, eclectic, layered, chunky jewelry, found objects girl. To me, she was more interesting to look at. Then, Dee Dee was more fun to look at because she had money. So she was more coiffed, I would imagine. Dee Dee was more put together, more contemporary, more straight out of a boutique kind of look." Not to say that Mona was sloppy, but if you were to use an analogy, if Dee Dee had a t-shirt, hers probably has some chiffon trim and she tucked that into her pants, whereas Mona might have a rock and roll graphic print and have her t-shirt out over a suede skirt from the 70s. It was definitely distinctly different and easy to make a difference because the characters were so different. And am I the only person who thought season 3's bangs were a moment? I feel like it was very becoming of Dee Dee and made her look more mature. And listen, I know we talk a lot about Mona and her character development throughout the show with all that she's been through, but I think Dee Dee deserves a little praise here as well. Not only was Dee Dee compassionate, patient, and empathetic towards Mona, but I also think she exposed Mona to a different lifestyle. I would also like to think that Mona spending so much time around Dee Dee maybe inspired her fashion transformation later in the series. And speaking of lifestyle, can we talk about Dee Dee's apartment for a minute? Now, this is for my home decor girlies out there because we love a nicely decorated home, don't we? Dee Dee's apartment was probably my favorite setting on the show. I loved Mona's apartment too because it had a lot of personality. In fact, both of their apartments matched their personalities to a T, but Dee Dee's apartment was my favorite. It was the perfect place to hold small, intimate gatherings like parties and baby showers, but Dee Dee also knew how to transform it into the perfect cozy date night setting or a calm environment for studying. I don't know, y'all. Out of the sitcom girlies, I think Dee Dee Thorne and Joan Clayton have two of the most stylish and well-kept homes I've seen. Let me know what you think. A few of my home decor pieces were actually inspired by both of these ladies, like the two black and white hanging pictures at the entrance of Dee Dee's home, as well as a few vases on the mantle that I also loved. I also appreciated how well they utilized such an open space. I mean, the placement of everything was perfect, and the loads of natural lighting will always be chef's kiss in my book. As quiet as it's kept, I think we could all learn from women like Dee Dee. She takes great care of herself both mentally and physically, and it shows by way of her appearance, confidence, home, and style. Rightfully so, Dee Dee is unapologetic about her life of luxury and privilege, but she didn't allow that to make her a bad person. Instead, she invited others along to share the experience. I really do believe that the finer things in life are whatever you want them to be. Let me know what you think about Dee Dee's style, her taste in home decor, and what you feel she brought to the show. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you all in the next video.